All right, guys. Hey, today we're going to talk about a very common situation. This is an 8-ball situation, but it can be used for any rotation game, 9-ball, 10-ball, or 8-ball, doesn't matter. Okay, so we have one low ball and the 8-ball. Obviously, we're not on low ball. Oop, let's not touch that 8-ball. We are high ball. There's only one high ball on the table. We need to get to the 8-ball. Okay, you may think you know where this video is going, but I will tell you this is not one of those 30-second videos that says, this is wrong, this is right, ding. I don't do those types of videos, okay? It'll leave you not any more informed than the 30 seconds before you watched it, okay? I'm going to talk to you about why and how, okay? And some other options because sometimes you can't always do the best option. All right. So let's get into this situation. If you want to learn, stick with it. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like this video and share it with your friends. All right. Let's get into it. All right. So this 8-ball does go to both pockets, by the way. And there really isn't a safety because my opponent has a very easy duck, basically sitting in a pocket. And so I need to get the out here. All right. I need to get the out. All right. There's not really a safety. So many of you will try a backspin shot or maybe backspin with a little bit outside right spin. And you'll try to pass this side pocket and hit this rail and come back over here kind of towards the 3. Is it possible? Yes. But you are going to be forcing this ball, especially on tighter pockets like these 4-inch pockets. And you are always going to be flirting with the scratch here. And if you don't get a really good draw shot, you'll be flirting with the scratch over here. All right, so check this out. A little bit of bottom right. All right, we missed the shot by a mile. We didn't get a good draw shot, so we hit over here and then came scratched over here. Okay, but I'm forcing this shot. Is it possible? Yes, and we'll cover that in a second. But it's a force shot. You have to hit it pretty firm. Um, and it's just not the best option if there's no other balls on the table. So what is the best option? All right, I'm going to quickly do the shot, and then we'll come back and we'll revisit the how and the why and the dynamics of the shot itself, okay, which is very important. So here it is. Oh, we got just enough for the 8-ball. Okay, so I got lucky that I didn't hook myself behind the 3 there, but we got back to this corner, okay? So if we did that a little softer, we might have been up here. But the point is, it worked out, okay? So if the 3 wasn't there, we would have been just fine. So in a rotation game, probably your opponent wouldn't have a ball here because you would just be going from that ball to your money ball, which would be the 9 or the 10 ball in a rotation game. So let's get into a couple other options and the how and the why to do that shot consistently. All right, so I cleared the rest of the balls because we're just focusing in on this one shot, trying to get back down to this short rail down here, okay? So first thing is when you're making these shots, you are playing inside left spin. You are going to get some deflection. I don't care what cue you have, even with my J Flowers SMO shaft, I find that I get a little bit of deflection. So when you are playing left spin, you see that? You are going to get some squirt out to the right. My right, shooter's right, okay? Now, not that extreme, but you are going to get maybe about an inch or an inch and a half of deflection, okay? So that means you have to compensate your aim. So what does that mean? Well, if I was using an old wood shaft, I might actually be aiming straight on this ball, completely to miss the pocket, I know, it's kind of weird, right? But for me, I have to aim about a half a ball. So I'm aiming as if the pocket was over here. Okay, so I'm cutting it a bit. I'm not aiming straight on, but I'm not cutting it enough. I'm not aiming to cut it enough to make it to the pocket. I'm trusting that there is going to be some deflection. You have to figure that out. You have to get used to whatever equipment you have. And once you do and you practice that, even if you have an old wood cue or a bar cue or whatever, you can figure that out, judge the deflection. You also have to stroke it smooth, okay? If you're jabbing or stabbing at it, you're even going to get more deflection. Okay? But even that will work if you figure out what the amount of deflection that you're getting and then aim accordingly. Okay? So, number one is you have to compensate for the deflection. You have to aim a little thicker on the ball, okay, in order to cut it properly. That leads us to our next point. Number two is you need to make ball first contact. You don't want to be hitting the rail first on this type of angle. No, ball first contact. Just barely, but you still want to make ball first contact. If you do happen to make rail first contact, you're probably going to miss the shot. Even if you make it, the cue ball is going to come off at a different trajectory. It's going to go more towards this corner pocket and less towards the short rail. Okay, which means you could potentially scratch over there. And even if you don't, it's going to be in tight to this corner pocket and it's going to come out towards the side pocket. So you want ball first contact, guys. All right. So can you make it, like I said, if you do hit rail first? Yeah, just barely, maybe a millimeter before the ball. But that's not a shot that you want to try to do, and it's not going to give you the result that you're seeking, which is to try to get down into this zone over here. All right. So I'll cover a couple examples of what it's like if you do hit ball first. I mean rail first, and we'll see. Okay. So if we aim right where we need to, watch what happens. Okay. You see, oof, just about scratched there too. I caught the rail first because I had some deflection on the cue ball, okay? And so consequently, we didn't make our ball. We almost scratched here, and then we almost scratched here, and we probably would have sold out. Let's see if we can get the rail first and make the ball. Okay, so we just caught the rail first, probably by a millimeter before the ball. And you can see the line of the cue ball was much different. We almost scratched here, and we were coming towards this pocket here. It was a bit of a fluke that I made it, because most of the time on that angle, if you catch the rail first, you will miss your ball. Okay, so we do not want to do that. We want to hit ball first. All right, Big Al, why is inside left spin, the shooter's left, camera's right, why is that running English on this shot? Well, let's just take a shot without any spin, let the cue ball naturally roll, and let's see what it actually naturally wants to do. Okay? Ball first contact. Okay, it went to my left. So running English, which would be left spin, is going to help it run the way that it wants to go. Okay, because it's going this way, and it's the running English left spin. It's just going to help it keep running around those two rails, maybe even this one. Okay, so but you also need the high action top spin. You don't want to just play center ball left. Not really. It could work. You'll probably be a little more narrow. You need the top spin as well to bring it more into this area of the short rail so that it comes out on a better angle and doesn't come towards this side pocket. Without the high action on it, you're going to be in tight coming in and out of this corner, okay? And you don't want that. So you want at least an 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock rotation on the cue ball. Okay, so when you hit at 11 o'clock, it's an 11-5 rotation. So it's got some side spin on it, but it also has the forward high action. All right, and when you do that right, you don't have to hit the shot very hard at all, and it will come back. All right, Big Al, that's all and good if you're perfectly on the spot or whatever. What if you got more angle? Move it a diamond over from the spot. Okay, now in this situation, it is more important to get 2 to 2.5 tips of straight left spin. You're still making ball first contact on this shot though. Okay, check it out. So I'm still compensating my aim. I'm aiming for about a quarter of that ball. Okay, perfect. So that was about 2.5 tips of straight left spin. Okay, if we moved it over a little bit more, now you're on the borderline of where you actually might want to consider taking it rail first, but you're also going to have a difficult time clearing that corner pocket. Okay, so that gets a little more difficult there. We won't get into that. So let's look at another example. Okay, so what if we are about a diamond over this way? So now we're a little more straight. Now you're getting close to where a draw shot might be actually a good solution as well, but I still probably would go forward on this shot, okay? You're going to hit it about the same way, about the same weight, maybe just a little bit harder. Get that follow inside left. Okay, and just bring it right back down. Into that zone right there is perfect. Okay, last time we moved it over about a diamond. Let's move it over another half a diamond from there. Okay, does it still work? Yeah, you can still go forward with this. Although a draw shot is a very viable option, so it's a 50-50 really in this situation. Some of you are going to say, why don't you just play a safety? There. Okay, the 8 goes to both pockets, by the way. But now I don't really have much of a safety if we're playing 8-ball, do I? Okay, so I am still going to play 11 o'clock. I'm going to compensate my aim a little bit. I'm going to let the spin do a lot of the work. Okay, and bang, perfect. We got a nice shot on the 8. All right, let's go back to the original position on the rack spot here. Second diamond. I can't go forward this time. I got too much traffic. My opponent has 3 low balls down in that corner. So we do need to execute a very nice draw shot. So check it out. Here's what that looks like. Perfect. Okay, it was a good draw shot. So that is an option. It's just not as easy of an option. And if you don't get the good draw shot, yes, you're going to be scratching here, okay? Or over here. So that is how to do those types of shots in a nutshell. Let's make them and see you at the next lesson.